So hi, my name is Orly, and we talked in the morning about identities, and I have many aspects of my identity, but here today I'm a mother, just a mother. So being a mother, I know from my own experience how complicated and tough it can be to support a child dealing with mental illness. Over the past 5 years, I have been there, providing support to my 28-year-old son as he faces the difficulties associated with mental health issues. The challenges we face as a family were significant and impacted our lives as we navigated a world that felt unknown and overwhelming. As someone who has built a successful career in the high-tech industry for more than 25 years, it was really shocking to suddenly feel totally out of control, having zero knowledge in this unfamiliar new field of mental health. However, these experiences fueled my willingness to learn and grow. Around 2 years ago, recognizing my need for deeper understanding, I made the decision to enroll in studies at the Department of Community Mental Health at the University of Haifa. This transformative step allowed me to gain a deeper understanding of mental health and acquire valuable knowledge to better support my child, my family, and others facing similar challenges. My child journey started half a decade ago when he was 23 years old, and I can surely say that I started my own personal journey in parallel, right by his side. My studies have been an empowering experience that have shaped my perspective. I discovered my passion and a new field that I'm committed not to let go of. As a parent, I cannot stress enough how critical is our role in our child mental health journey, especially when it involves medication. I'm here to share my personal story, to learn from others, and together hopefully build a better supporting society for my child, for my family where mental health is prioritized. Thinking about the past few years, I can certainly say that our perspectives on medication have evolved over time. 5 years ago, when the first severe symptoms of psychosis appeared in my son, we in the family were not aware of what was happening. At that stage, we had no idea about what psychosis is, and we certainly did not imagine that my son's mental challenges would continue throughout his life. Our optimism let us believe it was a result of a stressful period. During that period, our family faced a really hard situation. Both of my parents, to whom my son was very attached, passed away, one after the other within the same year. We looked for therapeutic alternatives to avoid relying on psychiatric medicines. Thinking about taking medication made us scared, possibly due to the stigma surrounding them or the potential side effects we were worried about. We consider medication as being the final option, a path from which there is no return for my son to normal life. Over time, our perspective changed. When the symptoms of the psychosis increased and started to disrupt our entire home life, we reached a point where we were willing to consider any possible solution, regardless of what it is required, including antipsychotic medication. At this point, we put a lot of effort into trying to convince my son to cooperate with the treatment. We felt that the situation was completely out of control, and all we wanted was for my child to agree to receive medication. we very much hoped that the medication would return my son to the state he was before the onset of the psychosis. And despite of all our attempts, my son refused to receive antipsychotic medication. His first serious psychotic episode, followed by his first hospitalization, happened while we were observing the morning tradition of sitting Shiva for my mother. While he was hospitalized for a short period of 1 month, he was forced to comply with the medication treatment. And as a result, when he came back home from the hospital, it was clear that he was doing much better. However, soon after returning home, he decided on his own, after a short time, without consulting either with us or with any professional, to stop to take the medication. And stopping the medication suddenly made his mental condition worse. And this eventually led, after several more months, to another, longer hospitalization. And when he was released from the hospital the second time, unlike the last time, he decided to continue to take the treatment and the medication, and his condition has stabilized. We hope that as time went by, there would be a decrease in the high medication dose he received. We were expecting also to see over time an improvement in his functioning in life, in social context or employment, but unfortunately, this did not happen. It seems like he has come to a situation where progress is stuck. Currently, my son seems fixated on the current situation and unwilling to consider changing the dose or any rehabilitation options. He has very little energy, he sleeps a lot, and stays in his room most of the day. I often think about whether these behaviors are because of the medicine side effects that make him tired or sleepy, or they are part of the symptoms of his illness. Even before starting to take the medication, my son struggled with various essential aspects of daily life, such as getting up on time, staying organized, and participating in social events. The side effects of the medication treatment seemed to further reduce his energy, making tasks that were already difficult for him now feel almost impossible. By now, he was getting used to somewhat comfortable routine, adapted to being a patient. He's focused on navigating each day. So now I have a 28-year-old son at home, freed from psychosis, but who rarely goes out. I believe the way he behaves as being sick is connected to the stigma and how others perceive him. He's sure people can see he's on medication, so he thinks they view him as unwell and treat him differently. This makes him want to stay away from people to avoid feeling rejected. I also question whether the medicine is just hiding his real issues and is simply stopping him from facing his emotions. Furthermore, sometimes he seems to me like he changed into a totally different person. I'm not sure whether this change is due to his illness or the side effects of the medicine. And I have many questions in my mind. Is the lively person I remember from before the illness still exist inside him? Does the medicine only make him seem different? And if he stopped taking it someday, will he go back to being himself as he was before the illness? In addition, in my opinion, one of the additional impacts of the long-term medication is the potential for a psychological dependence. I notice a certain psychological dependence of my son of specific medicines. This reliance might have caused him to focus on medication usage, resulting in his hesitant to consider any change. It is well known that the experience of being in and out of the hospital due to mental health issues can create trauma. In his case, I believe this trauma may have contributed to his medication dependence. I have the belief that my son is afraid of experiencing a relapse if there will be any changes in his treatment, as he associates it with the possibility of being hospitalized once again. We made several attempts to talk to him about rehabilitation options. His doctor also made some effort to suggest alternative medication and discuss rehabilitation services. But it seems that extra efforts are needed, and not only from his doctor, but also from other professionals specializing in rehabilitation, in order to convince my son to cooperate. Moreover, my son's lack of motivation, known as negative symptoms, which the medication doesn't help with, also contributes to this challenging situation. Another crucial question that I want to bring up is whether the family should intervene in child medication or not, and particularly when considering the discontinuation of mental health medication. Unfortunately, in many cases, by the time the family recognizes the need for intervention, it is already too late. I have come across numerous stories of individuals stopping their medication either because they feel better or due to the undesirable side effects, only to experience a relapse into psychosis. When a child decides to discontinue their treatment, parents find themselves in a dilemma. They are caught between the desire to respect their child's autonomy and the concern for the child's well-being. Watching their child condition getting worse without being able to intervene can be problematic. Parents may feel a sense of helplessness as they witness the negative consequences and are unable to offer immediate solution. The conflict of knowing that their child's well-being is at risk, but feeling powerless to address the situation can be a heavy burden to bear. I would expect that a professional would support the family during this stage, when things are getting worse right in front of them. But in most cases, if there is no immediate risk, the family requests are ignored before hospitalization becomes necessary. I now understand that the medication only helps with the symptoms, not with the main problem, which is how to help my son to live a good, meaningful life. So how can we truly fix the real issue and get him back to society? Are these medication and doses all right for him? Is it okay to let him decide about them? As parents, what else can we do? Are we doing enough for our child? Should we keep pushing the service provider to make more efforts? And how does all of this affect our family life? My questions keep coming up, and no one has clear answers. What is right and what is wrong? No one could estimate how my son's future will look like. We as families have to deal with all of these dilemmas and open questions every day. As a result of all of these dilemmas, I believe it is crucial for parents to approach their child mental health treatment holistically. While medication can be an essential component of managing certain conditions, it should not be the sole focus. Exploring therapeutic alternatives is a must, and professional providers must work in collaboration with the family to explore this alternative effectively. The most challenging aspect I face is feeling the failure, because I can't improve my son's well-being. Even though I try my best every day and have learned to cope with situations, I still can't get rid of the strong feeling of being unable to make a significant change. In all other areas of my life, Hard work usually leads to success, but when it comes to my son's mental health, it remains a big challenge. So, what would I expect to happen that could help me feel better? In most cases, the family remains outside the door during the professional meeting with the child, as he is an adult who can make decisions for himself. The professional meets with the child once every 2 to 3 months and is not in continuous contact with him. They can only see a partial picture based on what they observe at a particular moment. And this moment does not always reflect the individual daily behavior. Sometimes even the person makes a special effort to show his best side to the doctor. And the knowledge of the family, who is with the individual most of the time, can be extremely significant in this process. However, many times we are excluded from this conversation. We are reminded that we are only parents and guided against assuming the roles of doctors or therapists. And in my case, since I have some knowledge about mental health topics, it sometimes makes the professional unsure about how to treat me. They can't ignore what I say because I understand and I have knowledge, but at times they seem like they would rather deal with a patient family who doesn't challenge them and remain quiet. I think that the real work of talking and working together among the family, the doctor, and other professionals only starts when the child medicine is effective. And I want to ask the professional not to forget about our child, just because things seem okay for now. Right now, when our child is medically balanced, this is when we should work on helping our child to progress and return to the normal life. This is exactly when we, the families, really need your support and help. Furthermore, although providing the usual prescription every 2-3 months is straightforward compared to the time and effort needed to convince someone to actively pursue opportunities for emerging new treatment, I would expect a professional to look at how well the patient is managing his daily life. It remains their responsibility to continue striving for the patient's continuous improvement. In conclusion, I'd like to suggest a step we should take as we move forward. I'm convinced that the only way to make a change is by promoting open dialogue, reducing the stigma, and embracing a holistic approach to treatment. I believe parents can play a vital role in their child's overall mental well-being, ensuring they receive the care and support they need. To navigate this difficult situation, it is crucial for parents to maintain open lines of communication with their child and with the healthcare professional involved in their care. Professionals should be aware that parents' perspective on mental health medication could change over time, influenced by their experiences and challenging faced by both the parents and the child and the family. By recognizing the value of family inputs, healthcare professionals can create a collaborative environment that maximizes the chances of finding the most suitable treatment strategy. Furthermore, providing parents with the necessary support and guidance can help reduce the feeling of helplessness and ensure their active involvement in the child's mental health journey. So thank you for letting me share my experience and knowledge here. I hope that by doing so, I will be able to improve the life of my son, my family, and others dealing with mental health challenges.